Talking of pyramids, dude, this new pyramid shit that's just come out?
Oh, this is insane.
Hidden beneath one of the world's most iconic pyramids lies a massive, mysterious structure that's been buried for thousands of years. This groundbreaking find could completely rewrite everything we know about ancient Egyptian history. What secrets could this hidden chamber be holding? The possibilities are endless, and people are scrambling to find the truth. The Giza Plateau. The Giza Plateau, located on the outskirts of modern-day Cairo, has captured the world's imagination for centuries. Here, perched on a limestone outcrop, stand some of the greatest architectural feats in human history: the famed Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. These monuments were built roughly 4,500 years ago during Egypt's Old Kingdom period, especially under the 4th dynasty. The largest, called the Great Pyramid, is traditionally attributed to the pharaoh Khufu, the second largest to his son, Khafre, and the third to Menkaure. Despite centuries of study, the Giza site remains steeped in mystery. Why did the ancient Egyptians devote so much time and skill to erect these massive tombs, or possibly something more complex? How did they move millions of limestone and granite blocks with tools that seem basic by today's standards? And why do we keep finding new, undiscovered spaces beneath the bare sands? Before diving into the cutting-edge research and the novel mysteries recently uncovered, it's essential to outline the basics. Every pyramid on the plateau appears to have been part of a much bigger complex. Each pyramid area included mortuary temples, causeways that connected them to the Nile River area, and smaller cemeteries surrounding the larger structures. The iconic Great Sphinx stands guard near what's believed to be part of Khafre's funeral enclosure, yet scholars still debate its exact origin and date. Even the minor pyramids, those built for queens or lesser royals, add to the site's intricate architectural puzzle. New scanning methods, ground-penetrating radar, and advanced imaging techniques have allowed modern explorers to see beneath the ancient surface. These scans keep revealing hidden chambers, unexplained corridors, and what some believe might be entire subterranean networks. While traditional archaeology has explained Giza as primarily a burial complex, fresh discoveries suggest the plateau's purpose could have been far more elaborate. Some specialists theorize that it might have hosted sacred ceremonies aligned with Egypt's deep religious beliefs, or even advanced engineering projects that we can't fully grasp yet. For decades, the standard explanation has cast the pyramids as elaborate royal tomb. That view still holds sway, but each new generation of research adds layers to our understanding, from the majestic designs to the potential roles of priests, queens, or even unknown functionaries who might have contributed to these timeless feats. And as we'll see in the coming segments, there is much more to the Giza Plateau than meets the eye. Discovering hidden chambers and corridors. One of the most mind-blowing aspects of modern archaeology is the ability to detect anomalies underground without actually digging. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and electrical resistivity tomography, ERT, are two non-invasive methods that have enabled researchers to map what lies beneath Giza before picking up any shovels. Between 2021 and 2023, a joint team from Japan and Egypt used these methods around the Western Cemetery, near the Great Pyramid. Traditionally, the Western Cemetery is known for rectangular tombs called mastabas, which belonged to royals and elite individuals. But the scans revealed something unexpected: an L-shaped feature buried a mere 6.5 feet below the surface. This structure is about 33 feet long and definitely artificial, according to lead researcher Motoyuki Sato from Tohoku University. Why is this L-shaped anomaly such big news? Because L-shaped offering chapels usually appear above ground, so discovering one below ground contradicts the usual layout of the site. And it's not alone. There's a second structure extending down to around 33 feet beneath the surface. Scientists aren't yet sure if this deeper area is hollow or filled with rubble, but either scenario raises more questions. Were these areas used for storage, rituals? Maybe they connected supply routes or had spiritual significance. Harvard Egyptologist Peter de Manuelian notes that if L-shaped chapels exist on the plateau, they typically appear at surface level. Having one underground is an odd twist. The big question remains whether the L shape is an overlooked funeral chapel or something else entirely. The mainstream assumption has long been that the pyramids functioned as tomb complexes. Some archaeologists see this new finding as a chance to adjust or expand that interpretation. Others sense an even bigger shakeup could be on the horizon if excavations uncover evidence that these spaces were used for ceremonial, administrative, or even unknown technological pyramids. While these scans are a remarkable start, the next step is delicate. Excavating in such a historically significant area demands precision and an unwavering respect for preservation. Scholars caution that a direct dig is both expensive and risky, so proposals for carefully monitored drilling or limited tunneling might be the first step. Even a small find, like a pottery shard or text fragment, could reveal a new layer of ancient history. Beneath the Khafra Pyramid, many visitors to Giza are awed by the second largest pyramid, built or at least attributed to Pharaoh Khafra. Standing proudly next to the Great Pyramid, Khafra's monument has gained fresh spotlight thanks to recent synthetic aperture radar (SAR) imaging. In March 2025, an international team used SAR to peer deep below Khafra's pyramid, reportedly finding a system of interconnected structures stretching as far as 2 kilometers underneath. Early data revealed 5 identical constructions near the pyramid's base, each connected by geometric pathways and boasting multiple levels. Adding to the intrigue, they found 8 cylindrical wells with descending spiral paths. Even more astonishing are the 2 massive cubic structures, each about 80 meters on each side, hidden 648 meters below the surface. While the purpose of these immense shapes is unknown, their deliberate positioning suggests an advanced strategy. Speculations have run wild. One theory says these wells and cubic spaces could have housed some form of resource management, maybe water or grain storage, or activities linked to ancient religious rites. Another, more dramatic hypothesis holds that these structures might have had an energy-related function. Some point to the works of Nikola Tesla and Christopher Dunn, both of whom argued the Giza pyramids may have harnessed resonant frequencies for advanced engineering or power generation. The mainstream view remains that pyramids served as grand funerary monuments, an idea well supported by hieroglyphic inscriptions referencing kingly afterlives. But these newly detected beneath-the-surface complexes aren't accounted for in any known textual records. That mismatch leaves the door open for novel interpretations. If these spaces can be confirmed and later physically probed, the results might rewrite entire chapters of our understanding about ancient Egyptian technology, administration, or religious practice. For now, the subterranean domain under Khafra's pyramid is part of a lively debate among archaeologists, geologists, and alternative researchers alike. Skeptics remind us that scanning data can be misread if not confirmed by on-site exploration. Yet, the sheer detail of these anomalies, symmetry, uniform spacing, geometric pathways, makes it hard to shrug them off as mere geological quirks. As scanning technology improves, new and clearer images of these hidden corridors and chambers might firm up existing theories or spark new ones altogether. Advanced theories on ancient energy systems. Whenever talk of unknown chambers or geometric wells surfaces at Giza, conversations often shift to some eyebrow-raising ideas about energy generation. Certain authors argue that the Egyptians, or a predecessor civilization, possessed an advanced science related to acoustics or electromagnetism. Nikola Tesla famously mused on the Great Pyramid, potentially harnessing Earth's natural frequencies, and Christopher Dunn's notable work, the Giza Power Plant, extended that idea by proposing that the structure itself functioned like a giant machine. The newly found cylindrical wells near Khafra's pyramid could fit right into these theories if they indeed behaved like resonating columns or waveguides. The massive cubic substructures, each nestled deep underground, fuel speculation that they served as some sort of power station or storage mechanism for harnessed energies. It all sounds wild, but so did many early theories about the pyramids before archaeology advanced enough to verify more mundane uses. Egyptian artifacts often demonstrate a deep understanding of geometry, astronomy, and engineering. Think of the precise alignments of the Great Pyramid, corners facing true north with a minimal margin of error, or interior shafts pointing towards certain stars. Because these feats seem beyond the straightforward tomb-building explanation, supporters of energy-based ideas argue that intangible phenomena like resonance or earth energies could have been part of the equation. However, mainstream Egyptology questions these hypotheses, pointing out there is no definitive blueprint, no inscriptions about a power system, and no physical machinery. Even so, some mention the possibility that if such knowledge existed, it might have faded over time, leaving behind only megalithic shell. While the bigger academic community stays skeptical, dedicated communities outside the mainstream continue analyzing each new Giza discovery through the prism of advanced or lost knowledge. The King's and Queen's Chambers. Before these underground discoveries took center stage, explorers spent centuries trying to unlock the Great Pyramid's internal secrets. The monument's interior famously includes the King's Chamber, a near-perfect rectangular space built of massive red granite blocks shipped from Aswan, hundreds of miles to the south. No pharaoh's mummy was found there, fueling suspicions that the room might have served more than a simple burial function. The chamber is reached via the impressive Grand Gallery, a steep corbelled passage that soars about 8.6 meters high and extends about 47 meters in length. Moving large granite blocks through such tight corridors is by itself engineering wizardry. Some have speculated the Grand Gallery contained complex pulley systems or was used in specialized rites. The great step leading into the King's Chamber only adds another layer of puzzle, as does the presence of relieving chambers above the main room. 5 narrow cavities, stacked one above the other to reduce stress on the ceiling. Meanwhile, the Queen's Chamber sits lower in the pyramid and has baffled observers for centuries. Despite the name, no queen was buried there, and it lacks the finishing or grandeur typical of an actual burial site. 2 narrow air shafts snake outward from its wall, some ending just short of the outer surface. The function of these shafts, ventilation, star alignment, or religious symbolism, remains unresolved. Some experts notice that each interior space in the pyramid might have been designed with layered ceremonial, symbolic, and structural purposes. Though most archaeologists remain convinced that the Great Pyramid was primarily for Khufu's mortuary needs, they admit it might have also embodied cosmic beliefs. The intricacies of the interior architecture give rise to many alternatives or additions. Perhaps it served as a spiritual machine, funneling the pharaoh's soul starward, or as an initiation space where priests performed mystery. The deeper we look, the more it seems that the ancients had aims transcending mere tomb construction. The Osiris Shaft. Moving beyond the main pyramids, the Giza Plateau also hides myriad other subterranean features, one of the most compelling being the Osiris Shaft. Situated between the Khafra Pyramid and the Sphinx, it was known to 19th century researchers but truly studied only in the 1990s by Egyptian authorities, notably under Zahi Hawass. Exploring the Osiris Shaft proved tricky due to water that flooded its lower level. Pumping out the excess was essential to reveal a multi-level subterranean structure carved into bedrock. The top level is relatively plain, but descending further reveals a labyrinth of corridors and chambers. By the time explorers reached the bottom level, they discovered a partly submerged chamber with a large granite sarcophagus, a profoundly symbolic setting that connected the shaft to the myth of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, death, and rebirth. What makes this shaft unusual is how it appears to replicate a mini underworld. The presence of water, combined with an intricate multi-tier layout, could mirror the Egyptian concept of crossing through watery realms in the journey after death. Mummified remains and pottery fragments found inside highlight its use for burial or ritual. However, because it lacks extensive inscriptions, dating the shaft firmly to a specific dynasty is tough. It's even possible that older structures were repurposed in later periods for new rites. One theory posits the Osiris shaft was used for mystical initiations, where candidates underwent symbolic death by venturing down into submerged level and rebirth by ascending again. These kinds of substructures might also have been hidden storage areas or served more basic funerary purposes. But after decades of research, the specialized nature of the design suggests spiritual significance. Its name, Osiris Shaft, is clearly modern, yet the concept behind it resonates with Egyptian beliefs about embalming, transformation, and the watery underworld. Indeed, the Giza Plateau's entire layout can appear like a cosmic map, with each hidden chamber or corridor representing a piece of an ancient metaphysical puzzle. The Great Sphinx. If one monument has both thrilled and vexed archaeologists, it's the Great Sphinx. Standing roughly 66 feet tall and 240 feet long, this human-headed lion is conventionally dated to around 2500 BCE during Pharaoh Khafre's reign. Yet, some have proposed a drastically older date. Geologist Robert Schoch noticed weathering patterns on the Sphinx and its enclosure that seemed more consistent with heavy rainfall than with sand and wind erosion. Egypt's climate has been arid for at least the last 5,000 years, so significant rainfall erosion would point to a construction date thousands of years earlier than the Old Kingdom. Graham Hancock and John Anthony West championed Schoch's finding, opening debate about what else we might have overlooked. Many mainstream Egyptologists remain skeptical, citing lack of direct inscriptions, attributing the Sphinx to a pre-dynastic period, and reminding us that other forms of erosion, like rising groundwater, could mimic rainfall patterns. It's more than just a date squabble. A much older Sphinx would upend the timeline for advanced building in Egypt, implying either a lost civilization or a deeper reservoir of knowledge predating dynastic times. The water erosion hypothesis, while not universally accepted, has broadened the conversation about how old Giza's monuments truly are. People now question whether some of their engineering feats might be inherited from an even older society. Regardless of the construction date, the Sphinx remains a glorious enigma. Why does it have such an oversized lion body relative to its head? Did it once have a different head, remade into a pharaoh's likeness? Early images suggest the Sphinx might have had bearded features that have since eroded. Some wonder if it once bore a more leonine face, only to be remodeled to reflect royal traits. For these questions, only further data, geological, archaeological, or textual, will lead us closer to answers. Graham Hancock's Vision of a Lost Civilization. Graham Hancock, a British writer known for books like Fingerprints of the Gods, has woven together a narrative about a sophisticated culture that existed before recorded history. He posits that an advanced society might have thrived during the last ice age and then vanished due to global catastrophes such as comet impacts or massive floods around 10,000 BCE. Hancock sees the Giza Pyramids, along with megalithic sites worldwide, as remnants of a unified knowledge system. For instance, he points to the alignment of the three main Giza pyramids with the belt stars of Orion, an idea championed by Robert Bauval. This possible correlation might indicate that the ancient Egyptians possessed advanced astronomical skill, or that they inherited such from a still older tradition. Their star alignment, in Hancock's view, is more than symbolic, hinting at precise knowledge of the precession of the equinoxes, a 26,000-year Earth wobble cycle recognized in multiple ancient myths. Hancock also delves into flood myths from cultures around the world, seeing them as echoes of a real cataclysm that ended this mysterious civilization. The biblical story of Noah or the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh could be cultural memories of a global deluge brought on by rapid climate shifts at the end of the Ice Age. And if these tales preserve kernels of truth, then many timelines taught in mainstream academia might need rethinking. Critics argue there's insufficient direct evidence, like writings from 10,000 BCE describing such catastrophe. Skeptics also note that advanced geometry or celestial observations can develop independently, yet Hancock's ability to stitch together myths, alignments, geology, and unexplained anomalies has captivated a global audience. He encourages a re-evaluation of what history means, less a closed book and more an ongoing investigation. Whether you embrace his theories or not, they've undeniably motivated fresher looks at sites like Giza, prompting new lines of inquiry into what might lie beneath the sand or behind the carefully aligned stones. Randall Carlson and Ancient Cataclysms. Another researcher who challenges mainstream timelines is Randall Carlson, a master builder and geological enthusiast who focuses on the notion that catastrophic events shaped human history. Much of his work connects the Younger Dryas period, circa 12,900 to 11,600 years ago, to massive floods or comet impacts that drastically altered Earth's climate. If there were advanced communities during that slot in prehistory, they may have been wiped out, leaving scattered survivors who preserved part of their knowledge. Carlson highlights geological anomalies like the Scablands in the northwestern United States, arguing these landscapes were carved by enormous, sudden megafloods. He points to other signs of catastrophic flooding, from enormous boulders perched in improbable locations to widespread layers of black, carbon-rich material dated to around the Younger Dryas. This approach resonates with Graham Hancock's theories of a globally destructive scenario that might have impacted societies on every continent. While many geologists accept that cataclysmic floods happened, especially those triggered by glacial dams bursting at the end of the Ice Age, Carlson takes it further by suggesting advanced civilization might have preceded these floods. In his view, the Giza structures and other megalithic wonders exemplify a sophistication not easily explained by incremental Stone Age developments. Instead, they might be legacies, blueprints, or partial reconstructions of a knowledge system passed down by survivors. Critics within academia voice the need for more robust evidence, like actual artifacts or documented stratigraphy showing advanced culture has existed that far back. Carlson, however, says that cataclysms obliterated much of that material record. Meanwhile, he references myths, religious texts, and epic tales from around the world that speak of great floods or cosmic collisions. For him, these are not mere coincidences, but echoes of real prehistoric catastrophes that shaped the stories, moral lessons, and architectural achievements that eventually surfaced again in places like Egypt. Sacred geometry, cosmic alignments, and math mystery. One standout aspect of both Hancock and Carlson's research is the emphasis on geometry, astronomy, and special numbers found in ancient monuments. For instance, the Great Pyramid features proportions that approximate pi, as well as near-perfect alignment to the cardinal points. Stonehenge in England is oriented to capture sunrise on the solstice. Similarly, many Mesoamerican pyramids, like the ones at Teotihuacan, line up with astronomical events or star groupings. Sacred geometry also comes into play. Shapes like the golden ratio, the Fibonacci spiral, and Platonic solids appear in nature and in ancient design. Some argue that humans intuitively discovered these patterns millennia ago, applying them in stone circle, temples, and pyramids to align spiritually with the cosmos. The repeating use of specific angles, symmetrical layouts, or numeric sequences could reflect an advanced or universal knowledge that ancient priests or architects consciously employed. Randall Carlson specifically explores how numbers like 108, 72, 432, and 216 surface repeatedly in myths, old architectural sites, and cosmic cycle. For instance, the Earth's tilt, the precession timeline, solar-lunar relationships, and other celestial patterns show up in religious texts, temple counts, or structural measurements. Some see these correspondences as random overlap, but others suggest that ancient societies recognized universal constants and wove them into their ceremonial architecture. Even mainstream archaeology agrees the ancients were accomplished astronomers. Egyptians tracked stars for agricultural cycles. Maya built entire calendars around celestial events. Yet the leap to seeing an intentional global standard in megalithic architecture is more controversial. Still, the ability of pyramid builders and stone circle creators to measure angles and distances so precisely remains impressive. And if they recognized cosmic cycles like the 26,000-year precession, it suggests a level of observation and record-keeping that begs the question, how much did they really know, and where did they learn it from? Sunken cities. While Giza sits proudly on land, other Egyptian wonders have been discovered underwater. The city of Thonis Herakleion was once a bustling port at the mouth of the Nile, bridging commercial routes between Egypt and the Mediterranean. Over centuries, soil liquefaction, earthquakes, and a changing coastline caused it to sink beneath the waves. Rediscovered in the early 2000s by archaeologist Frank Goddio, the remnants of canals, temples, and monumental statues emerged from the seabed. Artifacts, like giant statues measuring over 16 feet in height, huge anchors, gold coins, and stone anchors, reveal a city that had once been a vibrant crossroad of commerce and religion. Similarly, Cleopatra's palace in Alexandria met a watery fate. Once the seat of power for the last Ptolemaic queen, Cleopatra VII, it collapsed into the sea due to ancient earthquakes and possibly tsunamis. Underwater archaeologists have uncovered columns, statues, and parts of the palace structure, painting a vivid picture of the lavish lifestyle. Cleopatra was no ordinary figure. She was the last effective ruler of an ancient dynasty that combined Greek, Egyptian, and Roman elements in its culture. Her submerged palace showcases the blend of influences from Hellenistic architectural styles to local Egyptian motifs. The area might even have included lavish gardens, halls for diplomacy, and libraries reflecting Alexandria's intellectual legacy. So how does this tie back to Giza? These underwater ruins remind us that archaeological records can vanish as landscapes evolve. As sea levels rose post-Ice Age and the Nile Delta shifted, entire ports sank. All this supports theories that many older or equally advanced sites could lie underwater elsewhere, perhaps even older than we suspect. That fuels speculation by researchers like Hancock and Carlson, who suggest that a significant portion of Earth's earlier civilizations might lie beneath coastal waters. Regardless of whether we subscribe to lost civilization theories, sunken sites like Thonis Herakleion and Cleopatra's Palace show that advanced, sprawling urban centers existed in ancient Egypt beyond the famous pyramids. They reflect sophisticated design, engineering prowess in canal building, and extensive trade networks. Each underwater find also demonstrates that the broader realm of Egyptian archaeology is constantly evolving, and Giza itself could hold more secrets both on land and below ground. Other ancient megaliths. Giza's mysteries are compelling, but they're hardly alone. Around the globe, massive stone structures, from Machu Picchu in Peru to Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, defy simple explanations of early human development. Göbekli Tepe, for instance, features enormous T-shaped pillars carved with animal reliefs, dating back around 12,000 years. That's well before the accepted timeline for complex societies. Its discovery forced archaeologists to rethink how quickly organized religion, communal building, and artistry arose. In Peru, the fortress-like Sacsayhuaman near Cusco was constructed with huge, irregularly shaped blocks that fit so precisely no mortar was needed. Some stones weigh over 100 tons, raising questions about how the Inca, or their predecessors, achieved such feats with stone tools. Pumapunku in Bolivia likewise shows perfectly cut stone blocks and symmetrical notches that align so neatly as to seem machine precise. These examples stoke speculation that past societies may have had advanced techniques or knowledge that mainstream narratives underplay. Mesoamerica adds further dimension, with sites like Teotihuacan near modern-day Mexico City featuring an entire city grid oriented to celestial events. The Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, and the Temple of the Feathered Serpent reflect advanced urban planning aligned with the cosmos. Central to these sites is a deep synergy of religious belief, astronomy, and architecture, a combination echoed across so many cultures that it's hard not to wonder about a unifying thread. Researchers who focus on global megalithic engineering often note how these cultures, supposedly isolated from each other by oceans or by time, nonetheless share parallel architectural feats. Granted, these parallels could arise simply because farming, city building, and astronomy are universal steps in societal evolution.